China, Wei Yuzhu gave up eating meat after learning about the karmic law of cause and effect. In Taiwan, we get to know Lin Xiaoyun, a winner of this year's presidential award. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. In the wake of the April earthquake that devastated the Nepalese community, Tzu Chi volunteers are helping to build temporary shelters for 60 nuns of the Bigu Gunpa Monastery. Deeply moved by Tzu Chi's efforts, a snack stall owner decided to provide discounted lunches for all the volunteers. The simple temporary shelter that is being built will soon be home to a group of distressed nuns affected by the recent earthquake. Tzu Chi volunteers gathered local residents to work together in order to complete this project. After the earthquake, the Nepalese are still deeply scarred by this disaster as healing and rebuilding efforts continue. Locals like the owners of the snack stand are moved to help in their own way. This owner is providing discounted lunch prices for all volunteers.
Although I'm doing business, I also want to help people, so I provided discounted lunch prices for volunteers helping with rebuilding.
Due to electricity shortages, Nepalese volunteers crowd around a small laptop to listen to Master Zhenyin's words. This is also how they learned about the recent body water park explosion in Taiwan.
We bless to all the Taiwanese. They get strong and strong heart. They just have to stable for every problem. We also love them.
Letting them listen to the words of Master Zhenyin, we hope that they are able to step out of the pain and suffering caused by the recent earthquake. We hope that their horizons can be broadened so that they can understand that not just Nepal, but many areas around the world require our help and support.
To send blessings to the victims of the body water park explosion, Tzu Chi volunteers throughout Taiwan took part in a prayer ceremony that included video conferencing with the Dharma masters in Hualien's Jingsi abode.
During a visit to an apartment housing seniors, Tzu Chi volunteers asked the elderly people there to join them in praying for those affected by the Bali water park explosion.
At the end of our visit, we asked the grandpas and grandmas to join us in prayer for a harmonious society and a world free of disasters.
Also praying for the burn victims, more than 400 volunteers, many of them seniors, took part in a 7-day prayer ceremony at Tzu Chi's liaison office. At the ceremony, the attendees chanted a Buddhist sutra.
We cannot predict when disaster will strike. The burn victims were still having fun before the explosion happened, so we chant Universal Gate Sutra with piety.
In prayers and through donations, Tzu Chi volunteers have garnered people's kind thoughts and best wishes for those affected by this tragic accident. At Wusong Recycling Station in Kaohsiung, also taking part in a prayer ceremony organized by Tzu Chi volunteers, the father of a burn victim, Mr. Chan, prayed with tears in his eyes.
She can't talk, so she wrote on the cardboard, "They don't just pray for me, but pray that everyone will be able to leave the hospital wards."
Praying for his daughter, who suffered burns to 80% of her body, Chen was joined by his wife and the other daughter. Chen also seized the occasion to thank all the people who helped and prayed for them.
We will let go of all frustration and work together to face the rehabilitation. Although it is hard, we will pull through the difficult times.
With the sound of chanting, the Chen family have calmed their minds and will be able to face the ordeal with more confidence and courage.
Tzu Chi volunteer Wei Yuzhu from Fujian, China, used to love eating rabbit meat because she believed it would make her more beautiful. And in the space of 5 years, she had consumed thousands of rabbits. It wasn't until Wei joined Tzu Chi that she learned of the karmic law of cause and effect and decided to give up meat once and for all.
At the traditional market in Jiangzhou, Fujian province, one can see vendors selling rabbit meat. At one point, Wei Yuzhu enjoyed rabbit meat so much that she bred her own and slaughtered them for her own consumption. Over the past 5 years, over 1,000 rabbits have fallen prey to her desire for its meat.
I sacrificed countless rabbits in exchange for my beauty. I killed many rabbits, and I paid a price for it. Sometimes I wouldn't be able to fall asleep, and when I did, I'd have nightmares. I often woke up screaming. Blisters formed on my arms that left me in agony. I took a knife to scrap them off until my arm bled.
It wasn't until Wei Yuzhu joined Tzu Chi and learned about the karmic law of cause and effect that she decided to turn her life around. Leaving her bloody past behind, Wei now devotes her time to making handicrafts.
Some items, when you fix them up a bit, you can actually extend their lease of life. Some can be dismantled and made into other handicrafts. This is also a way to safeguard the planet and reduce waste.
These puppets, which have been made by Wei Yuzhu from recycled materials, come with Jingsi aphorisms attached to them. Turning over a new leaf, Wei is now spreading Dharma through her handicrafts.
In Tainan, Taiwan, there lives 54-year-old Mr. Wang who has not taken a shower in 5 months. To solve the sanitation issue, the local district office reached out to Tzu Chi and asked them to help. Today, Tzu Chi volunteers from Tainan are here to look after Mr. Wang, who has lost his mobility because of a spinal injury. Knowing he often goes hungry, volunteers first inquire whether he has eaten today. Mr. Wang fainted and hurt his back because his blood sugar levels were low. Normally, Tzu Chi volunteers come to bring him food, but today they are here to help him take a shower. Volunteers work together to clean 5 months' worth of filth and odor off his body. Mr. Wang also got a haircut and shave. 54-year-old Mr. Wang actually lives with his 80-some-year-old father, but as the family has no means to take care of themselves, Tainan's Shanghai District Office reached out to Tzu Chi for help.
Including the father's mattress, we also brought it outside to air it out. We hope their home environment is better from now on.
Volunteers also planned out how else they could help with Mr. Wang's medical needs, making sure this love continues without interruption. Since April, Tzu Chi volunteers in Penang, Malaysia, have been caring for Ms. Chen of Bukit Metajam. The some 50-year-old senior has had a hot temper her entire life. However, since meeting Tzu Chi, she began to change.
Paying another visit to Ms. Chen, who's mentally ill, Tzu Chi volunteers have a surprising store for her today. With the singing of the volunteers as background music, Ms. Chen walked into the living room and served tea to her elder brother and sister for the first time in 30 years.
来，你请哥哥喝杯茶，谢谢他，好不好？哎，要加咯，谢谢一公上，一公上，给我回家，请爱吃啊。这回得等32才应票啊，3万了。骗你娶新婦，還是你搞？我哋都行了3個月。來，你啉到這喙茶，你有啥物心情？真歡喜啊！真歡喜，生日快樂，對吧？生日快樂。
Lighting up the candle on her birthday cake with the best wishes and support of the Tzu Chi volunteers and her loved ones, Ms. Chen is also embracing a new chapter of her life.
For many leukemia patients, bone marrow transplants are their only chance for survival. Yet the rate of pairing matches between two strangers is extremely rare. Next, we meet Mr. Chen, who was fortunate enough to find a donor, but simply didn't have the financial means to pay for the cost of the transplant. Let's see how Tzu Ji reached out a helping hand.
Donning a Tzu Ji volunteer vest, Mr. Chen visits patients at the hematology and oncology ward. He uses his own story to encourage patients, sharing how he overcame his initial fear as well as his treatment experiences.
At night, my gums bleed. When I wake up, I rinse the blood out of my mouth, but the bleeding starts again. My boss looked online and told me that it looks like I have leukemia. I was frightened. I thought, how could I have leukemia? I was scared, so I did not go see a doctor.
As the bleeding became increasingly severe, Mr. Chen felt tired and without energy. Finally, accompanied by his family, he sought medical treatment at the hospital. But he was still very scared.
Anyone who was leukemia will feel troubled. Tzu Ji volunteers visited me every week. Their support really comforted and encouraged me.
With the encouragement from Tzu Ji volunteers and the medical team, Mr. Chen found the courage to seek and receive treatment. He was also successfully matched with a donor, but his hopes were soon dashed by financial problems.
其实，干细胞移取出体外，其实它的量跟质就开始衰减。一般来讲，国际认证的标准是以48小时为准啦。
听讲即摆啦，错无着吼，即摆佫做。I
was afraid I could not come up with the funds. Now that I have found a match. In the end, they said Master Zhen Yan will help me. They said to go ahead with the transplant. It's all because of Master Zhen Yan. She also helps with my rent. I want to thank Master Zhen Yan, the volunteers, and the medical team at the Veterans General Hospital for their love and support.
With everyone's dedication, Mr. Chen successfully received a peripheral blood stem cell transplant that gave him a new lease on life. His donors' love and support provided him with hope, and now he wants to share this message of hope and love with other patients.
I've experienced this journey from beginning to end. Coming here to visit patients, I hope they can feel encouraged and less afraid from my success story. Sharing my experiences, I feel very happy and joyful.
In Indonesia, Tzu Ji volunteers held 2 iftar meals in Tzu Ji schools to help bring the community closer together. Also, as celebrating Eid al-Fitr, the end of Ramadan, can place a financial strain on families, volunteers held a charity fundraiser where their care recipient families could purchase items at a drastically reduced price. Tzu Ji volunteers in Indonesia held a charity fundraiser selling clothes, daily necessities, and more in Padang, northern Jakarta, ahead of Eid al-Fitr.
Eid al-Fitr is almost here. Indonesians like to buy new clothes for the occasion. The clothes we're selling at the fundraiser are cheaper than those in the stores.
Much like the Chinese at Lunar New Year, for Eid al-Fitr, Muslims purchase food items and new clothes to celebrate the occasion. But for those who are struggling financially, celebrating the holiday becomes stressful. So volunteers decided to hold a charity fundraiser to help their care recipients.
I only spent about $5 today, and I was able to purchase 5 kilograms of rice, 2 cups, and 1 kilogram of vegetable oil. It's really cheap. I'm so happy about that.
In total, 2,000 packs were prepared for their care recipients to purchase. The purpose of the sale was to let the poor know that they too can help others.
Kita ada minta masyarakat itu diutamakan yang sudah memiliki celengan pada hari pembelian paket ini, mereka harus bawa celengan untuk dituang.
Although it is not yet Eid al-Fitr, the spirit of the holiday is slowly developing as Tzu Ji volunteers hold 2 iftar events at night.
I'm very happy to be sharing iftar meal with everyone. It brings residents closer together, and at the same time, we can interact with Tzu Ji volunteers. I hope there are more activities like this in the future.
Volunteers have prepared many Muslim dishes along with Tzu Ji's instant rice to further promote vegetarianism.
We eat vegetarian meals at home. My daughter doesn't like to eat fish, but she loves to eat meat. And now she keeps to a vegetarian diet at Tzu Ji school. So at home she eats vegetarian meals too.
in this moment, the divides between Buddhism and Islam are removed, as everyone simply gathers to enjoy each other's company. In Hualien, Taiwan, Lin Xiaoyun grew up in an impoverished home. Knowing her family's situation, Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for her and her family since she was in the 5th grade. This year, she received the Presidential Award in recognition of not only her top marks at school, but also in the way she takes care of her father. Like the role of a mother and a sister, Tzu Chi volunteers have since been a part of Lin Xiaoyun's life since 2007. It is also the love of Tzu Chi that has provided her a sense of security while at school.
With the volunteers by my side, I am very comforted. While at school, I don't have to worry about the conditions at home.
Today, Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital's nursing staff are visiting Lin on their day off to check up on her. Lin's father was in a car accident that hurt his spine. An understanding girl then takes care of her father to the best of her ability.
She uses the time after soccer practice to spend time with her father at a Mennonite Christian hospital. She helps to remove phlegm and helps with his rehab exercises.
It's Lin's behavior of a good daughter that has not only won recognition from the Ministry of Education, but also the President of Taiwan.
When I grow up, if I can be like the Tzu Chi volunteers and help other people, then I think in my heart I'll have such a sense of accomplishment. In the future, when I have the ability, I want to help poor people.
Lin Xiaoyun graduates from Hualien's Physical Education High School this year. In the future, she wants to be a PE teacher to influence children like herself and give back to society for the help she's received. On the second day of the 2015 Tzu Chi Leaders Training Camp held at the Jingsi Hall in Hualien, Taiwan, camp organizers invited Tzu Chi Teachers Association member Lu Ruilong to share some ideas on practical activities which they can carry out in the future. A round of interactive games lifted camp participants' spirits in the afternoon. What's different is that these activities are embedded with Tzu Chi's humanistic culture.
At any event, a strong ending requires a strong beginning. So we want to take back what we have learned here, incorporate it in our community activities.
Learning to organize group activities infused with Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit is a challenge, but also a learning curve for these youngsters. Teacher Lu Ruilong also encouraged students to never be afraid of taking on a challenge, as it is the best way to learn.
When we care for the elderly, we learn how to interact with them. It is the same when we care for small kids and also youth our age.
Just like Master Zhen Yan said, we should be mindful when carrying out each task. We shouldn't organize events just for the sake of it. It should be with a purpose.
Making the most of their summer vacation, 260 Tzu Chings have learned about accountability and responsibility. They also look forward to continue serving others selflessly and with joy in their hearts.
Tzu Chi's parent and child classes have not only enriched students' lives with their humanistic education, but have also enhanced the bond between parent and child. At the graduation ceremonies held in both Zhonghe and Wanhua, parents talked about how their children have become more considerate and thoughtful since taking part in the class.
Full of confidence, students of the Tzu Chi Wanhua Chisao class opened their closing ceremony with an exhilarating drum performance.
当时国一吧，这里就建起来了。那个时候开幕式，那个时候我被邀请来比法船，我觉得我开启我人生第2春。后来也来加入了鼓队，我觉得鼓队很容易建立一些很奇妙的感情。
Young Qingchun, who got accepted to Taipei Municipal Jianguo High School, joined the Tzu Shao class 5 years ago. Applying what he has learned there to his daily life, Young is always ready to lend a helping hand to classmates in need.
I am really glad we decided to sign him up for the Tzu Shao class just before he hit adolescence. I feel that he has really learned to put others before himself, and I think he is doing great. So I am really proud of him.
Promoting core principles of gratitude, respect, and love, Ziji's parenting child class in Zhonghe is well received by many parents. Ziting has matured considerably since joining the parent-child class. She has learned to help her peers at school and has joined the school's recycling team. She also looks after those who are younger than her. Master Zhen Yan said that we shouldn't underestimate our ability as everyone has a limited potential. I hope I can reach my full potential and beyond. Celebrating the success of the past year, parents have witnessed a profound change in their children.
我是觉得他就是学到很多东西，那他比较懂事一点，在学校也也会尽量都会去帮助同学。
I never used to greet my neighbors because I'm shy, but since I started to attend Ziji's parent and child classes, I have no longer been afraid to greet them.
Each of the lessons is designed to facilitate learning through activities and has also brought parents and their children closer together.
More than 200 teachers in Indonesia took part in a teacher training seminar held by the Tzu Chi Foundation. Having learned about the importance of having faith in students, some teachers say they now know how to find the right method to teach each student.
214 teachers in Indonesia joined the teacher training seminar held by the Tzu Chi Foundation, during which 6 lecturers from Taiwan shared their experiences.
Education with love means that the student should be able to feel the love. If he knows you love him, he will be willing to change.
Mungkin salah satu yang benar-benar nyangkut di otak saya itu tidak ada anak yang tidak bisa dididik.
I remember the saying, there is no child who cannot be taught, but we have not found the right method. We might think a child is unable to learn, but it is not his fault. It is because we haven't found the right way to teach. The lecture gave us some examples of how students learn from scratch.
Bahkan tadi dari contoh-contoh yang dari Taiwan juga, akhirnya dari yang from nothing to something gitu loh.
Teaching with love means letting go of blame and facing every child's problem.
Children who grow up being loved will know how to love and respect others.
Ya, tentunya sangat besar sekali bagi saya. Saya bisa mengenal lebih dalam ya tentang.
I've truly benefited from the seminar and understood what humanistic culture is. I'd like to practice in my school from kindergarten to high school.
Sekolah dari TK sampai SMA nanti akan kami sosialisasikan mereka.
From the seminar, these teachers have gained a deeper understanding of humanistic education and will be able to guide more students with this precious experience.
Returning to Taiwan at the end of the program, we joined Tzu Chi volunteers in Zhanghua's Yunlin as they organized a housewarming party for Mr. Tao. To mark the occasion, Mr. Tao vowed not only to become a Tzu Chi member, but also looks forward to doing recycling to reciprocate. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. See you next time.